Hi guys, welcome to my channel where we talk about everything from tech to films and all the fun stuff in between. Today we are going to talk about the Tesla Model 3, a car that has been worshipped almost everywhere on the planet, and it finally arrives in the UK nearly 2 years after its launch in America. Don't think there has been another car in recent years which had so much hype, and all for good reason. Tesla only does electric cars, and we did have the Model S and X in the UK before, but the cars were priced up to £65,000, making it inaccessible for everyone. And then comes along Model 3 with its £33,000 price, putting it on par with the likes of hugely popular mid-range saloons like BMW 3 Series, Jaguar XC, Audi A4 and the Mercedes C-Class. However, you cannot get the entry-level Tesla in the UK yet. Same as what Tesla did in America, they kick off their series with the mid-range car, starting at £38,500, and it costs about £39,500 by the time you take delivery, and this includes the £3,500 UK plug-in car grant, and just makes it qualify to be taxed from the second year based on the new UK tax regulations. Yes, it sounds ridiculous paying road tax for zero emission vehicles. Yes, it costs £320 a year from second year to tax the car. And yes, for all you confused viewers across the world, we pay road tax on our cars in the UK. It used to be based on emissions, but now they have decided to include the cost of the vehicles into consideration as well. Bit more on the UK road tax for all those, including me, who were under the impression that it will be tax-free. This is not the case. UK has introduced this new law that irrespective of the CO2 emissions, cars over £40,000 will pay tax from the second year. It's almost like the government officials got together and thought, heck, if you can spend 40 grand on a car, you can pay our tax. And that is UK tax rules in a nutshell. Moving on, let's focus on the car, that standard entry range plus, which gives you 254 miles of range and the top speed of 140 miles per hour and a 0 to 60 time of 5.3 seconds. Now that is really fast. The performance version cuts this down to an insane Ferrari level 3.2 seconds, but still 5.3 is really quick. You get the rear wheel drive as standard, and the time I spent driving a BMW Series 3, I can tell you that the rear wheel steering is serious fun. You get the pearl white color as standard, and this is a good thing. Initially, I've seen black as the included color, and the pearl white was a cost option, but this has now changed. All the other colors cost £1,000. This has gone up by £100 in the span of a day, and with the red color costing an eye-watering £2,000 extra. You also get this amazing glass roof. It looks super cool and makes the cabin very lively. Now the interior is something else. Even the word minimal wouldn't probably do it justice. Besides the steering wheel and a huge tablet-style touchscreen, there is nothing else. Few thoughts about this. The interior makes this car look super cool and something straight out of a Spielberg sci-fi movie. One central responsive touchscreen that controls everything from music, maps, aircon, to even small things like opening the glove box. One thing which I feel that is seriously missing is a heads-up display. Unlike the traditional cars or even the Model X or S, the Model 3 does not have a speedometer behind the steering wheel. The speed is always displayed on the right-hand corner of that touchscreen, and it sure makes it a little awkward and probably a bit getting used to. Other cool feature is about the interior is that amazing single vent which spans the entire dashboard, and you control airflow however you like using that touchscreen. Ingenious really. Not sure why other manufacturers did not think about this before. Now let's talk about that thing which makes this car truly futuristic, that autopilot system. As standard, you get the radar cruise control which maintains speed based on the car in front of you, keeps you in lane, and also has blind spot monitoring. Actually more like a 360-degree monitoring, which is really cool. You see, the car comes as standard with cameras around it, giving you this cool visual representation on the screen of what surrounds you when you're driving. This is really one feature that makes me buy a Tesla today despite of its shortcomings. And yes, there are a few shortcomings. Let's talk about that. Now, Tesla brags about zero maintenance, but I have watched many stories online where things don't work. It would be good to have a showroom or service center near you so that you can pop in when you have issues. I live in northern England, and the closest one to me is about 100 miles away. And then the charging. Our supercharging network is not as developed as in the UK, and the town where I live in, there are no Tesla superchargers. The nearest one is about 100 miles away. There are a few electric chargers at the nearby fitness centers and supermarkets, but no Tesla fast chargers, unfortunately. And mostly for early adopters, we charge the car overnight at home, and this is how long it's going to take for it to reach from 20 to 80%. Standard UK 3-pin plug takes over 24 hours to get to that 80%, which is not really ideal solution. So you all need to invest on something like this, which gives you a charging range of 3.6 to 7.3 kilowatt hours and costs around £400 to install one at your home. Actually, the 7.2 kilowatt hour is better as it can charge your Model 3 from 20 to 80% in about 8 hours. So perfect for overnight charging. I only have the rough estimates at the moment, but a full charge equivalent to a full tank of gas will cost you somewhere about £12. And when you're considering fuel for £12, you get about 10 liters. So you can see that's a very substantial cost saving. And if you're using public chargers, then the 50 kilowatt hour will get you a charge of 80% in about 40 minutes. And if you're lucky enough to find a supercharger, then you get charging speeds of about 20 minutes, and that'll get you to the 80%. Now, UK is a small country. Going all the way from Edinburgh to Southampton, the north to the southmost point, is about 430 miles roughly. So charging your Model 3 once or twice to be on safe side will get you one way and will cost you somewhere around 20 to 30 pounds. Equivalent petrol car will easily cost you over 150. Also, if you get a referral code, they're very easy to find online. Tesla will give you a 1,000-mile free charge at its superchargers. It's a shame that because Model X and S gets like a free lifetime worth of supercharging, not the Model 3. Let's also look into this futuristic autopilot a bit more. As standard, you only get the autopilot, which enables you to steer the car, accelerate and brake automatically for other vehicles and pedestrians within its lane. If you need that full self-driving capability, the one which changes lanes upon indication, auto park, or even summon the car from a parking space, you need to go for the optional eye-watering £5,800 pack. Unfortunately, this cannot be retrofitted, so you'll have to take this option before ordering if you need this for sure. But there are a few issues with it. Checking reviews from other users who have used this in the UK, this feature is really a hit and a miss. If you're not familiar with UK roads, then they are full of roundabouts, cars parked on the streets, and unmarked roads. For cars half parked on the road, the autopilot is thinking that this is a car in front of it and it is braking. Roundabouts are where it's going for a spin and it's completely losing the lane which it needs to follow. And unmarked roads, sure, it does struggle a lot. Really, the software needs to be reworked considering the UK road conditions and roundabouts. Plus, the other feature of full self-driving where it uses maps to pull out at the right junction and take you to the destination might not come at all to the UK. This is due to the EU laws. I've also read complaints about from people using the summon feature and that it is not working in most cases. So seriously, you need to consider spending nearly £6,000 on this half-baked solution. As for £6,000, you can get a decent Ford Fiesta or a Hyundai i10, the used second-hand versions. Plus, you get the standard autopilot with the excellent surround view anyways, so that makes it compelling enough for, in my opinion. So finally, there is no doubt that the future is going to be electric. Whether we like it or not, Model 3 makes The car looks super cool, futuristic, and affordable at the same time. But you will be an early adopter if you hit that order now button on Tesla's website. And with that comes challenges, especially if you live outside cities here in the UK. Something like I wanted to get an iPhone as soon as Steve Jobs wowed everyone in 2007. Only that model didn't have 3G nor video recording, but still everyone envied me for having one. The Model 3 will also be the same, and mind you, it is affordable but still not cheap. For the same cost, you get a BMW 3 Series or an Audi A4 or a C-Class with decent spec or two mid-spec Ford Focuses. These are my few thoughts on the Model 3. I'll update more as I get a chance to drive one. Thanks a lot for staying with me until the end. I do promise better quality videos as we go along. That's all for now. Bye. See you next time.